by. This is the reading for the Scorpio male for December of 2017 into January, February, March of 2018. I split the energies from masculine to feminine. I do a pyramid spread, and then I have 3 clarification tarot cards for any kind of situation that they want illuminated, and then I give a surrender card and a fortune card in the end. So I'll start with the pyramid here. The first card I get for the masculine Scorpio is skill. So I feel like these masculine Scorpios are preparing for something. The next card I'll move on here is abundance. I feel like the Scorpio males are trying to accumulate that abundance, you know, whether it's money and finances, you know, that kind of a thing, accumulating, or toys or things, or give me, I want to start building on what I've got here. I want more. So almost a sense of greed here in a way, but we'll move forward. And then I have the last card on the base is Destroyer, which is interesting because the Destroyer is looking directly at the abundance and knocking that off. So we may have a focus here on too much materialism, and this is going to be, this can be taken away from you in a sense. So be aware of that. It's kind of a too much of a focus on greed and things that I can attain that is really not important. And if we go too far on that side of things, these things may be taken away. The universal energy doesn't match that greed, so it will kick things out. It will get rid of things in that way, so be careful of that. The next card we have is cycles. So we may be, you know, I'm kind of going back to readings I did a while back, and there were some cycles for these Scorpio males coming up, and they're coming up again. So the feeling I get sorry, from the Scorpios, male and female, masculine and feminine here through the horoscope, I feel like they're kind of the back of the wave that's moving forward. So they're the ones that really want to hang on to the material things and hang on to the intellectual thought process and hang on to all of those things that are really not going to serve them where they're going. So they're really having a hard time dealing with that transfer, because in the future here we got to deal with compassion and heart-centered ways, and a lot of that physical stuff is just going to be let go. And I think we're coming here into a cycle that we've repeated. We've already been through a cycle of having to lose things in order to gain other, you know, they're taking things away from these Scorpios in order to see what truly matters here. So now if you start loading all this stuff back on, they're going to get rid of it again. It's going to come and wipe it out again. And they're just going to keep doing that until the lesson is learned here. And the lesson that's learned is we don't focus on this pile. We focus on that pile. And this pile is the inner strength and knowledge and compassion. You know, the people matter, not the things, that kind of thing. So if you start accumulating too much in that area that is not serving you, it will be wiped out. And I feel like this is you know, this is a pattern that's happened already. So the next card I get is altruism. We have to start dipping, right? The male Scorpio has to start dipping into the true essential human being that they are. And they are not doing that. They're coming from a superficial place of and going outward from that. And I feel that highly as with the feminine as well. We're just locked into this superficial place because we feel protected in some way that is truly an illusion in itself. But nonetheless, if we do not start coming from that true sense of who we are and going outward in a way that does not, I'm saying it does not serve us, but that's not right. In a way of compassion for the fellow man, taking someone else into account here is really what that altruism is like, doing for humanity as well as for me, and taking that as a reward. That needs to be built upon. And we're not having a concept here of too much of that on the Scorpio male side. We've been cut off from it for a while. So it's kind of like Greek. It's the translation's not taking here. Now we end up at sacrifice. So we have one side of the pyramid here is skills, cycles, and sacrifice. So the skill, you're focused on attaining things that are not in alignment with the universal flow. So there we go. We start with the cycle again because we have not learned our lesson in the past. Now we're moving forward and we're continuing. And what's going to end up is we're going to have to make that sacrifice again. On the other side, we have destroyer and altruism and sacrifice. So the destroyer is basically that universal energy that's going to come in there and they're going to take away the things that do not matter, that should not matter, right? And we really need to focus on those things properly. It's like, I'm going to give you a scenario, and this is a bad scenario, but it really exemplifies the fact here, what I'm trying to get to. Say we have a person going along in their life and they're, maybe they're the richest person in the world and they're attaining all these things and they've got all this money and the Rolls Royce, everything they want, they can have. They're not quite unhappy, but they're not deep enough to realize that they've got it all and whatever. So then they have family, right? And then suddenly there's a person in the family that is let go, passes over, let's say. Someone dies and they're taken from them. Suddenly, what really makes a difference here? Would you rather have that person back or all those things? And I feel like the Scorpio would go, well, that's okay. It's bad, but I'm going to take my things. And they really have to shift their priorities to understand that it's human love and compassion, and that's what we take with us. When we leave here, we don't have nothing. We don't have no baggage. We just go in spirit form. We have nothing, no things. We cannot take the Mercedes with us. We cannot take the castle we live in. We cannot take the coins that we've built. So this is really what they're trying to show you, is like heaven and earth is kind of trying to join here. And if we have all these material things, we cannot get that heaven that's inside. So that's really the translation of where we're trying to get to. The peace on earth, right? There's a goal here, and we're not following the path to the goal. We're going down the wrong road and kind of getting distracted. So for the male, it's really a hard shot here, because I'm feeling a little bit of disillusionment. Like, what? This is the way I work. So there's going to be a hell of a jolt that's going to have to come across in order to sacrifice what does not matter for the things that do matter. So we have to make that a priority before the universe decides to put it there. We have to, not get caught with our hand in the cookie jar. We have to resist it and go suck on some kale or something. Using these weird metaphors, but really there's a sense here of going in the wrong direction spiritually, and we need to kind of harness that back. So for the clarification cards, I went with tarot cards. 3 of them I took out to exemplify anything. The first card I got is the Magician. So the Magician is really the guy. He's got all the tools. He's got it all. He knows what he needs to, he knows what he needs to do to move forward. He's got what he needs to get there. He just has to do it. And the Magician is just that step before you start making things happen. So know that in your, in that disillusioned feeling that I'm picking up on here, you really do know what you need to do. You just need to do it. You just need to manifest from that area. So be aware that you're not really missing anything. That may be like a self-sabotaging situation where you do that in order to not have to give up the things, right? But when you get to the other side, it really is more rewarding in a deeper sense of who you are than you realize. And it can be, because you haven't dipped into that yet. So the Magician really just symbolizes that you have all you need. You just have to start using it in the right ways. The Two of Pentacles is that imbalance that the universe is feeling. It's like, no, things are not all they're cracked up to be. It's pretty lonely when you got a lot of things, and you want to be fulfilled internally, not just externally, because it doesn't serve you. Like you say, in the end, you die, you don't take it with you. You can create it up there, but you can't take it with you. You know, those material things you cannot take. So the imbalance with the Two of Pentacles is really that thought process of head and heart, right? The head is over here and the heart's down here. So we need to bring that up. We can still keep our head there, but we need to bring the compassion into it to get anywhere. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Now the Queen of Wands, that's the fiery energy, right? The fire. There might even be interesting, because we have this woman and she's looking towards the future. So there may be some Scorpios there that are trying to tune into a relationship here with a fire sign. And in order to do so, I'm feeling the Magician is kind of looking in his own direction. He's not even looking towards the Queen. So there's a little bit of work here that needs to be done in your lesson area in order to attain the Queen of Wands, because I feel like Queen of Wands, she's very powerful, very sturdy, she knows what she wants and where she's going to get it, and she's not shy to go out and create action in order to do it. She's a mover and a shaker, and I feel like this is maybe someone in your future, but as of yet, you have not created the equality you need in order to meet up with this woman. Now, she is a queen and she's got things figured out. So we need to be, and I feel like the red dress is really sticking out for me here. And that's that heart and compassion. It's like she's got it and she's coming from it. So you have to get up to there to match that in order to get going forward. And that's really what it is with her. Because if you start getting into your heart-centered place, there is that woman, and then you will be in balance. But as long as you are in that superficial, materialistic place, you're not going to have the energy to attract that person. It's just going to stay in the future until you decide to balance that out. Then it will create that pull, right, to bring you guys together. So there's a situation here where there's a mate of some sort coming in, a companion. It could be as simple as a friendship coming in that is very rewarding. But for some, I do see it as being a partner, a possible partner, a potential partner for the future. So I draw some fortune cards. I draw a fortune card and a power of surrender card to kind of clarify things. The surrender, things that you need to let go. The universe is kind of talking through this. And the card that I got for you was surrender your desire to control people. It says being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goal, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. So this is maybe something within your current relationship or something you need to think about maybe when you're single or even as moving into a new relationship, that there are control issues here. And it's the number one thing that really sabotages relationships. So you need to take that into account to get rid of that. See it, identify it, get rid of it. And the fortune card I get, I'm telling you, this little bugger, he's popping up everywhere. He's the dragonfly. He's in probably about 70% of the readings so far. Have confidence during this time of great joy, renewal, and connection to spirit. So it seems to be the running theme that everybody's connecting to that inner energy of who they are and where they need to come from. They just have to start acting from it and get rewarded from it to feel that. And I feel like that's what the Scorpio's male's got to do. He's got to kind of trust enough to listen to that instinct and follow it instead of batting it off, because they're really batting off those instincts in order to make the right decision, which sometimes is not always the right decision. It can seem right logically, but it may not situationally be the correct move to make. So that's a lot of what's going on here. And nonetheless, I feel the Scorpio male has all the tools he needs to move forward. He just has to choose them and use them and go forward with it. And when he does, and he balances his material side, I feel like this is more his head with his heart. If he balances that, then there's a possibility of some mates coming in and coming together and having either a deepening of a relationship that is existing, or a pull from a new relationship from a single that is going to be very rewarding and very impassioned, or you know, a possible partner, a long-term partner that is going to come in that is going to be very suited for you, as long as you stay within that boundary of leveling things out between your head and your heart. And I think you'll be okay. So for the Scorpio male for December of 2017 to 2018, this has been the reading. Take care and have fun. Again, over the Christmas holidays, if you celebrate, take care and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and be safe.